to Jay, but they harvested a piece of skin from my arm. And the reason they took it from my arm is because, like, this is just the thing about cancer is you kind of just got to deal with, like, what you got to do to survive. But there's, like, not a lot of hair in your arm. So, like, if you would have taken it from, like, your thigh or something, then you got, like, hair and you got, so that was the idea. And it's like more stable for your mouth. If you were to take something, like, a lot of times for tongue cancer, they do, like, fibula because it's just a better type of skin for that area.
Beat up, kicked in the teeth, nowhere but up, not gonna lie down and die. Gotta stand up, reboot, and move on, one step at a time. Stand up, reboot, stand up.
Hello and welcome to the Human Reboot Project. This is episode number 3, and I am super excited to announce my guest today. Her name is Kamden Krull. She is a university student at the University of Purdue. And besides being a student at Purdue, Cam is a cancer survivor. She was diagnosed in 2018, and we're definitely going to get into that a little bit later. As I mentioned, she is a student at Purdue University. She is also a public speaker, a storyteller, and a philanthropist. And I would also just chime in here that Cam is wise beyond her years. I'll take a moment and just share a quote that I pulled off of her Instagram account. Cam writes, "In 50 years, cancer will no longer take our loved ones. It will be gone, not because of chance, but because we choose to stand together and make it so." I cannot think of a better quote and something for all of us to think about in this very turbulent time in our history, about being unified, about working together toward the common cause. And it's super excited to share have Cam share her story with you today and talk a little bit about her journey and what she's doing to make sure that cancer doesn't affect future generations. Cam, it's great to see you and welcome.
Thank you, Jay. When I got that email, I was like, I can't believe you thought I was worthy enough of your podcast. That's awesome.
Absolutely. You're more than worthy. And if for those who don't know, because most people probably don't know, that Pam and I have a friendship that started with our mutual connection over cancer and fundraising for First Ascents through the Leadville 100 mountain bike team that Leadville sponsors. Her dad is a longtime participant, and Cam will be riding with us this year or in 2026. So super excited for that.
Yeah, I also just like to add that like Jay, when I was going through all of my stuff, and my dad, we'll get into all that stuff later, but Jay was one of the first people that reached out to me. So he's an awesome person, and I'm just really grateful for him.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Cam. And I would say that one of the bright spots about having cancer and gone through cancer myself is that you get exposed, and I'm pretty sure you would agree with me on this. You get exposed and you get to meet some incredible people. And a lot of these incredible people, yourself included, were the reason that I started this podcast, because I wanted to really put a focus on us average Joes and Janes and how we move through life when life hands us a bowl of lemons, right? So, so thanks for sharing your story today. And let's just go ahead and just start with your cancer diagnosis. We'll break it down for us. Just start with. I think someone your age, actually probably a lot of us before we're diagnosed with cancer, it's the furthest thing from our mind. So maybe start with what led up to your diagnosis.
So my diagnosis was just like a regular dentist appointment, and I was just like a goofy 18-year-old. I honestly was kind of just like, it's kind of felt like a waste of time to go to the dentist. I'm like, I'd get my teeth cleaned, whatever. And so I went there, everything was great, and then at the end of the appointment, the doctor was like, or the dentist came to do the final check, and she like kind of stopped for a minute, and I was like, I don't really know what's going on, like whatever. And next thing I know, there's like 8 people surrounded me taking pictures of my mouth. And I'm just like, at that point, I think I was just 18. I was just cracking up. I guess I didn't even think that cancer would be a part of my story. And then I left that appointment and the dentist pulled me aside and she's like, I really need you to get this checked out. And then I was like, oh, like, this is not a joke. So that was like just the beginning of that. And at that point, I kind of forgot about that, put that in the back of my head because, you know, I'm 18 at that point. And I'm just like, whatever. And so then about, I think it's probably like 6 months later, we finally get into like an oral surgeon and they were like, you need to get a biopsy. Like, it's probably not cancer, whatever. So I got the biopsy, pleomorphic adenoma. It was totally benign. And then, you know, we went to another oral surgeon. That's when I got the diagnosis.
Okay. What prompted you to go to a second oral surgeon for that second opinion?
So when we got so crazy story actually, when I was supposed to get my wisdom teeth removed and I got that benign tumor, and they were literally sedating me and the point to they were going to remove the tumor. And the doctor came in, she's like, I'm sorry, we can't do this. So I was like, what? So at that point, I was just like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I was morally just focused on like celebrating and going to get like brunch at that point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just young and dumb. And so we left that appointment confused, and she said, you need to go to this doctor. So we went to him. So
okay.
She kind of recommended that and was kind of like, I don't really understand what's going on. And if any of you guys are watching, or have read something, or have looked me up, I had a really rare cancer. So it's, that kind of played a big part in my journey and finding, like what the diagnosis was. So, I mean, you have a rare cancer, it's really hard, and I'm young. So avocation is just like, you really got to advocate for yourself. So
yeah, I would say a couple things. One, hats off to your dentist for doing that oral exam. I would tell our listeners that if your dentist is not doing some type of oral exam, obviously looking into your mouth, into your throat for abnormalities, which is what showed up at your dentist, I believe. But as well as like looking at the neck for different lumps, I would maybe consider getting a different dentist or at least having a conversation with your dentist about why they're not doing head and neck cancer screening. Most dentists aren't qualified to say yes or no, you have cancer. But as in your case, they can be that first line of defense or first warning saying, hey, there's something going on here. Could be nothing. But recommend you get it checked out. And then I would also say, hats off to your first head and neck cancer doctor, right? That had the humility to say, hey, this might be a little bit out of my scope. And it was, if I wrote this down correctly, I probably wrote down that you were 18 instead of 2018. That's why I got myself confused. Okay. Yeah. But it's an adenoid cystic carcinoma, I believe is what it was called, right? Mm-hmm. And do you know what do you know about? I don't really know anything about that type of cancer other than it's in the mouth. Is there a cause for it? You mentioned that it's rare. I'd love to, if any insight that you have would be great.
Yeah. So I feel like everyone with cancer, like everyone that I've talked to, they're like, yeah, I had this cancer, and it's kind of just like, I just do what I'm told. So like, I don't really understand like all of the sorry, it's like cold season around here. I got the Purdue flu.
That's all right.
We call it the Purdue flu.
The Purdue flu? The freshman flu?
Yeah, the freshman flu, yeah. Exactly. But it's What, to my understanding, now do not trust me on this. Like, I'm not no doctor, but
we're not medical doctors.
yeah,
We're just
just
can't. We're you and I are just cancer
yeah,
patients.
no lawsuits over here, but but what from my understanding is it kind of starts from like a genetic mutation, I guess, like kind of just like it's all luck and how you were built, I guess. Like, and that's how it is for most like young cancers. Like at this point, you're probably not smoking and getting at 18 and getting lung
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. But it's kind of derived from that genetic mutation kind of type deal. And then it kind of grows slowly over the years. And it could have been growing in my mouth for however long, and then it finally started showing. So from my understanding, it's a genetic mutation, and they're not really sure what it's caused by because funding and stuff. But yeah, but I do want to add HPV, like, please, like, it's a huge cause of, I think, 80% of oral cancers. Not how mine was caused, but
right.
Get your HPV vaccine.
Yeah, I'm an HPV guy, and the vaccine wasn't available when I was younger. If it had been, I know that I would have gotten it because my mom and dad made sure that I had all my vaccines as a kid. But it is a HPV vaccine. It's a 2-part vaccination. Most doctors recommend, I believe, between ages of 9 and 11 is when kids get it. But it can be given much later. I just had a friend who is in his late 30s. He just got his second dose of the vaccine. So if you haven't been vaccinated, and you're a young adult, this is a great time to talk to your doctors about it. If you're a parent and you have kids who are close to being of vaccination age, please talk to your doctor about that. I mean, when I was told that I had HPV related cancer, I was like, oh, the stuff that causes cervical cancer. I had no idea that it caused head and neck cancer. And to your point, it is the leading cause of head and neck cancer. So so thanks for bringing that up, and that's a great call out. So you had more than just surgery. I'll make sure when I go back to edit this for those watching on YouTube, I'll edit in some photos from your Instagram of your surgery.
I'll send you some better ones.
Okay, yeah, please do. They're horrific. I mean, there's no other way to put it, and it's just. Especially sitting here talking to you right now, it is amazing after seeing some of those pictures to see how well you're doing. So do you want to maybe talk a little bit about the treatment that you went through and the recovery process?
Yeah. So so when I was diagnosed, my mom, okay, funny story. She won't want me to tell you this, but I'm telling you anyway. The doctor was just he wanted to do the surgery, and he's a great guy. We're friends, we're buddies now, but he wanted to do a surgery, and my mom sat there and told him, well, I want the best damn doctors in the world because it was a rare cancer. So anyways, we ended up going to Mayo Clinic, and we did if anyone knows about Mayo Clinic, you get in and it's like 15 appointments in one day. I mean, they got their stuff going on. And so we did that, and they were like, we can't confirm that it's adenoid cystic carcinoma. We got to run our own shit. So they confirmed about, I think, like 2 weeks later that it was adenoid cystic carcinoma. Then I did free flap surgery, which is it was a long, you had an 8-hour surgery too, right?
I don't think it was quite 8 hours. To be honest, I slept through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good.
I think mine was closer to they said it could be up to 8, but I think it was maybe like around 6. But it was a long time.
It was still too long.
Yeah.
Somewhere around, too long o'clock that I had surgery. And essentially they just they harvested, so I'll show you right here. They harvested
Wow.
and Jay, I'll send some better pictures to Jay, but they harvested a piece of skin from my arm, and the reason they took it from my arm is because like this is just the thing about cancer is you kind of just got to deal with like what you got to do to survive, but there's like not a lot of hair in your arm, so like if you were to take it from like your thigh or something, then you got like hair and you got so that was the idea. And it's like more stable for your mouth, if you were to take something like a lot of times for tongue cancer they do like fibula because it's just a better type of skin for that area. So interesting. But they took that, and then in order to keep the like blood supply and the skin alive, they had to take the arteries or the artery and vein right here,
Right.
and then to connect that they had to get in my neck and connect the blood supply. And then Jet, I'll send you more pictures of like what my mouth looks like now, but it was basically just like a stitched up piece of skin in my mouth. Now it's like literally like you can tell like you couldn't even tell if you didn't know.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, while we're at it, let's just take out some lymph nodes. So then they took out some lymph nodes.
And so when they took out your lymph nodes, was that because they were just worried that maybe the cancer had spread there and they wanted to test them?
Yeah, and this type of cancer spreads microscopically, so they couldn't really confirm 100% like through the margins that it didn't, and It skips, so it can go from here to here. So that's just nasty. So
yeah.
And then on top of that, they took out my wisdom teeth because might as well just do a 5-for-1 special.
We're back there, right? You show up with your coupon, right? Oh yeah, I've got a coupon for a free tonsillectomy, or for free wisdom teeth removal.
Yeah, what do they call that? I don't know.
Getting your wisdom teeth out, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So you had your surgery, which having had surgery in the back of my mouth, that you have to take some time for all that to heal. In your case, a skin graft. And then what?
Yep. And then, the recovery was like a week long in the hospital, making sure I can move my arm again, a lot of that stuff. Anyways, then I did 6 weeks of radiation. So proton radiation, which is like very to the point radiation. It really gets exactly what it needs to get. And, interesting thing is like I'd really advocate for second opinions and to make sure that you're getting, even if you don't get treated and you can't like afford going to the Mayo Clinic or getting treatment where you're not from, like I would recommend even getting like a recommendation from them and seeing what they said, because Mayo Clinic said like we need to do radiation, and then my local doctor said like if the margins are clear, you're good. And it just kind of worries me for other people, like if they didn't get that second opinion, and they didn't get all the cancer out 2-3 years from now, it's already back. So second opinions, even if you can't afford to live there for 6 weeks, I'd recommend at least getting one.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing there is basically advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Doctors they're doctors for a reason. They're smart, intelligent people, but they're also human, right? And were you doing the advocating for yourself, or was this more your parents? I know family's big for you. You just read through your blog and see your posts. I know how much your family seems super tight knit, but so I'm guessing that your mom and your dad were probably advocating pretty hard for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I was just kind of, obviously I was 19. I was super, I don't know.
You were 19.
Oh, 19. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to talk more about the healing process and stuff, but I also want to give a shout out. You have in your blog, which is called camchow.com. And we'll put some links in the notes. But you have this wonderful, very short blog post about meeting your scar buddy, because as you say, your cancer is pretty rare. So there's not a lot of people that have the unique scar patterns that you and this other person do.
Yeah. Yeah, so I actually came out of an appointment, and my dad, by the way, he talks to everybody. So he saw that scar and he goes, "Did you by chance like have adenoid cystic carcinoma or something like that?" And I'm like, I don't know why he decided to ask that question, and She did. Or I don't know if it was that cancer, but it was that surgery.
Sure.
And we had the same exact scars, like right here and right here. And
Yeah, there's a great picture of y'all's arms. It's just cropped. It's just basically your arms in this picture, and you're definitely twinsies there for sure.
he's
What
awesome.
do you still do you stay in touch with your scar buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So surgery, radiation, how far along? How many is this months now that you're into your treatments?
Yeah. So I would say like about a month later I had radiation.
Only wow, a month and then radiation treatment. Wow. And then after how long was your radiation? Was that daily?
Yeah, it was every day, but weekends off.
Okay. For how many weeks?
6.
Wow. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Was yours 6?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing, Monday through Friday. Mine was during the pandemic. So in hindsight, that actually made things a lot easier. There was no traffic. I was able to drive myself to radiation. I was on first name basis with the valet at the hospital because there was nobody else going to the hospital except unfortunately through the emergency room for COVID treatment. So often I would come out of my treatments and my truck would be right where I left it in front of the hospital because there was no reason for him to move it. And I wish I could remember that guy's name now. He was just a super nice guy. He knew while I was there, and he was always just a super kind guy. So, yeah.
I was on first name basis with the security people because I always would bring in a banana. It would always red flag me going through because it's a shape detector. Every single time, man.
Yeah.
They already knew at that point. Like,
well, you should have just gotten like holsters and worn bananas in your holster.
Yeah.
Just walk through like a cowgirl. So so you stayed at the Mayo Clinic during this time?
Yeah, and Mayo Clinic has some really awesome like housing discounts and stuff. So
right,
yeah, and they actually have the Ronald McDonald. They have the Hope House. That's what it's called.
Okay, yeah, Ronald. I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah. Free stay, and then Ronald McDonald, I believe, is for the children, or
for their. I think it's generally for their families. Unfortunately, we have a friend who had a long stay at a Ronald McDonald House while her child was undergoing treatment for leukemia. So, and he's doing well. So,
good.
Yeah. Hats off. I'm not a big fast food person, but hats off to the Ronald McDonald House for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So you finished up your treatment, and then did you get to go home right away, or?
Yeah, right. All my friends came to ring the bell with me, and then we left that day.
Okay, and what after that? Follow-ups? Was there any additional surgeries?
So actually, interesting thing I didn't know about radiation is it takes I don't know how long, but actually a while for it to kill all the cancer cells. Kind of like a firework. Like getting them all out. So, I believe it was so surgery ended in May, and then October I had my scans, and so a couple months, and then I got clear scans, and oh my gosh, I just remember how nervous I was to get those scans back. I don't know, it's just so scary. Yeah, man, and then after I got those clear scans, it's so irrelevant, but we went to a Pink concert, and oh my gosh, I just remembered singing all, it was just so good, walk me home, and I was cancer free, and I met these people next to me, and we're all just have our own. It was just beautiful.
That's amazing. So you don't, no more scans? Do you have to do any type of follow-up visit still, or?
Yeah, so now it's every 6 months, and then since I'm Miss Chatty Cathy, every 3 months I will meet with my doctors just to talk to them.
That's good. It comes back to advocating for yourself, right?
Yeah, I love my doctors.
Yeah, good.
And but actually, Mayo Clinic protocol, I think would actually be 3 months. But for everyone who goes through cancer, for me at least, it felt I could live for 3 months, and then when that 3 months hit, it's now I need to see where my life is headed. And my doctors really understood that and were like, we don't want you to live like that. We want you to go enjoy college, to go enjoy like this, your 20s, you know? So they were just like, we're going to do scans every 6 months, and we don't want you to live on a clockwork around scans.
Right. Yeah. I hear you on that. I think, and you chime in if you don't think that I'm hearing you correctly, but the way my experience has been is that the first time you're diagnosed with cancer, it's for the most part, it's unexpected, right? Most of us aren't, thinking, oh, I'm going to probably get cancer today. But once we've moved through that treatment, and then when that scan comes back around, it starts to weigh really heavily on you, because you know what it means to have cancer and what it feels like to go through those treatments. And the last thing you want to do is go all through that again. So there's a big heavy weight that comes with those scans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I'm really grateful for the or how I've been treated. And I know it's like that for everybody.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had some world-class treatment and doctors on your side and on your team. So
that's definitely a big part of my mission, is to make sure that everybody deserves that treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it just breaks my heart to hear about all the like things that people go through. And I was just so lucky. So I hope like a big part of my mission is to make sure no one should have to fear for their life. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about that mission, because you have, I feel, have already made a huge impact on the cancer community with some of your advocacy work and your Pen Pal program. So maybe let's start with the Pen Pal program, because I think that's pretty unique, and I'd just love to hear more about it and hear about where you got the idea for it.
Well, first of all, I forget what it's called, but I got the idea from someone who was doing pen pals through chemo. And I just thought that was such an awesome idea. And when I was going through treatment, like people would send me letters all the time, and I was writing these blogs, and people somehow found it and would find me, and they were just so generous to like be like, I admire you. And I'm like, you admire me? What? Like, I admire you because you admire me. And so I think it just, over treatment, I just send letters back and forth to these people, and I don't know if they wanted to hear like my whole note page that I wrote to them about how much I love them, but they would write back. And so then I was like, well, I kind of don't want to stop this. Like, I want other people to have that support system too. So then I just put up like a little sign up on my website, and I started, posting on Instagram about all the things that I was doing. I didn't even have like any social media until like December, I think. So, I wasn't really promoting myself. And then that got some traction. And then, now I just, get letters from people and I write back, and it's just awesome.
So how is the connections? Are they just sort of happening? It sounds like they just started happening organically, and then you were like, oh wow, this is really cool. Is that still what's happening? Or are you working with any like children's hospitals or any other cancer treatment centers to sort of find people to write? Yeah.
So it's more just organic, like, and that's what part of my mission is. It's like, I don't believe it needs to be anything like super serious. Like, I just want to have that genuine raw connection and be like, you know what? I'm a normal person. I went through cancer, and I may have like this platform, but I'm literally just like you. And that's kind of my goal, is to meet these people and, just have that organic connection. But I do go to Riley, and I'm here at Purdue, so the IU Health there, and I write to them, and and it's not anything or any system. I don't work with anybody. I just write to the kids or the people there, and that's what I love so much about it, because it's not like, oh, I'm doing this because, like, I'm part of an organization and this is like my job. It's morally just like, hey, dude, we're friends. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know you're good at that because you've just reached out to me via Instagram however many years ago. And I just feel super fortunate to have struck up a friendship with you. And obviously I know, your dad from First Descent's Leadville team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it feels honest and it sounds like that, I'm sure that the people that receive your letters are touched by it. And, hopefully it lights something in them that as they move through their treatment and get to a place where they can maybe be that support mechanism. I'm sure that's just taking fire in folks. So keep it up.
Yeah. I also I realized I was really good at writing letters when I had my grad party in 2023. And I don't know why I felt the need to do this, but I wrote, obviously you write thank you letters,
right?
But I wrote every single person like a full page about how much I really just thank them and the stories about like high school and about like their impact in my life to that point. And like so many people were reaching out to my mom and my grandma and were like I just bawled my eyes out.
That's awesome.
Like I don't know. I guess writing letters is kind of my thing.
And when we say writing letters, we're talking pen and paper, right? We're not talking text. We're not talking, emails. We're talking old school.
Oh yeah. So this is from, I have some hung up here, but so I don't have any of my letters, but yeah, it'll be literally that. And that's literally, I'm making a mission to get like literally like a piece of like notebook paper and I just write on it exactly what I feel like. But this is from one of my buddies. He said, "Dear Cam, I hope you have a happy birthday and many more. I just love you, your friend." And see, and it's not like, sometimes it's just like happy birthday.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I hope my mom listens to this podcast because my mom is always ringing the death toll for kids don't write thank you letters anymore. So Mom, if you're out there listening to this or watching this, please know that Cam is keeping your dream alive and still writing on pen and paper. So, and writing thank you letters. My mom is going to be thrilled.
Yes, I'll keep it alive.
Yeah. So the Pen Pal program, and you've done a lot of fundraising and like super creative fundraising. Like I remember we're holding garage sales to raise money. Talk to me a little bit about the fundraising. And then it also seems like you have gotten into the public speaking piece as well, but I'd like to hear about both of them. So.
Well, when I was done at the Mayo Clinic, I was like, man, I have to give back to these people. And I was 19, and how does a 19-year-old raise money? I had to figure that out. And I am a very hodgepodge person, and shout out to my grandpa Jim because he passed away from glioblastoma almost 15 years ago. And ever since then, I just used his spirit to move on through my life. And I'm a lot like him. I look exactly like him, and this is the type of shit that he would pull. So I asked everybody. I got a bunch of clutter, and I held garage sales, and I made I think probably $1,000 in the first 2 garage sales. I mean, it was wild. And then it was winter time, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now because my parents are pissed at me because I have all their garage filled with clutter. I had to get a storage unit because I had so much stuff. And
wow,
I would list stuff and people would come and they'd buy it. And actually one lady, I had this chair that someone donated to me. Actually, my Aunt Jane, thank you. And, and she used it for her chemo chair. And she literally sat there and told me I just got diagnosed with cancer. And this is my chemo chair. And someone bought their wedding dress. I mean, I met so many people who had also been through cancer. Someone was blind. If you watched my video about that, I was talking to her and then I tried to show her a picture and she's like, I can't see it. And she was blind and she had cancer. and she's a songwriter. I mean, and I just had so many awesome connections. So I kind of fell in love with that. But anyway, just that. And then winter came around and I decided, why not do a half marathon and also raise money? And so I ran a half marathon and I raised $1,500. And then I did Unbound Gravel and another half marathon and some other races. But there's some other weird fundraising stuff that I did in there. And it was just more like just how could I raise money as a 19-year-old? And my goal was $10,000. And I think about 429 days. It took me 420. I did not think about anything else except $10,000 for 429 days. I swear.
So 429 days to raise $10,000.
And I did not think about anything else for 429 days.
Yeah.
Every single day I would think about how I was going to get another dollar.
Yeah. And was this all for one specific group, or did you just disperse it out to different groups?
No, actually, so it is all for Mayo Clinic. I still have that $10,000. It's over $10,000 now, which I can't believe that. And in January, additionally, I promised my doctors that I was going to bring them like a big old check, like a big old novelty check. And she didn't believe me. She thought I was joking, but I was serious. And so yeah, the idea is to get like a giant check, which is like $200. So I'm gonna have to find a way to come up with that. But
well, maybe you could do a fundraiser for the giant check. Yeah.
The novelty check fund. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, that is amazing, Cam. And then you've done some public speaking too. What about that?
Yeah, I've spoken at Roche. They shared my story. My mom works there, and yeah, it was just awesome opportunity. And, just like little places here and there, but I'm really trying to get more into, I just love speaking.
So speaking of fundraising, I've mentioned this a couple of times. The way that you and I got connected was because your dad and I were both on the First Ascents 100 mountain biking team. And for folks who don't know, First Ascents is a nonprofit organization based out of my hometown and here in Denver, Colorado. And they work with young adults to get them out, young adults going through cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. They work to get them out doing outdoor adventures. And it's really about reinstilling that, sort of taking your power back, really, and doing it through nature. And I know that you have also now participated in one of their camps. So why don't we start there? Why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience going to surf camp?
Oh my gosh. It was the best experience I've ever had in my life. Good Lord. I just can't even describe it.
Yeah.
Like the people, I literally just talked to one of the lead staffs. I text, her name is Scrambler. I'm going to send her this because she was wondering about you, Jay. And, I text her all the time, and I just had a conversation with another lead staff about expeditions and stuff, and all the people. We have this group chat. I mean, so I went in there thinking it was just a benefit of having cancer, and then 3 days in, I'm like, holy crap, I think I actually needed this. And it was just, incredible.
When you say you think you actually needed it, what do you mean by that?
I needed those people who understood me, and the people who said stuff where I'm like, I didn't even realize that's how I felt. And that makes so much sense. And I don't know how to describe it, but my heart, it just felt so just man, I don't have to be some I don't know how to describe it. It was awesome.
Okay. And so you were at surf camp. Was that in Huntington Beach or somewhere in California, right?
Yeah, Santa Cruz, California.
Okay, Santa Cruz. Okay. So you fly out there. You get off the plane, they hand you a surfboard, and you go surfing. What is sort of a day in the life at First Ascent Surf Camp look like?
Yeah, so they pick you up it's basically like a family. You wake up, they have private chefs making you breakfast, and you you eat together, and then you go do your activity. But the interesting thing is the activity is just the shiny part. Like, that's just what gets people there. But they trick you. The real part is the healing in a good way. So that's about like 2 hours every day. And then, you have, whether you hike or, you kind of decide what you want to do. They give you a couple options, and whether you go hiking or you stay at the house or you go, like, I took myself fishing. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't catch anything, but yeah. And then at the end of the day, you have dinner together. They have happy hour because it's not happy hour.
Gotcha.
And and then you have fire circle where they kind of facilitate you, the lead staff, and all the chefs are there, and Richard Schmidt, like our surf instructor, who's a legendary surfer, and also Siegel, like very like incredible surfers, like they'll even sit in the circle with you, and the lead staff just kind of facilitate healing questions, and you just talk about it, and then you go to bed.
Yeah. And so I do it all over again the next day, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Were you out there for what, a week?
Yeah, a week. It was like Sunday through Friday.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad you got to go. It sucks that we have to have basically cancer camp, but it is. I've heard what you're saying echoed many times by folks who've been to First Descents or similar type programs of just how meaningful it is to be able to connect with folks who truly get you and truly understand what you've gone through. So glad you got to be part of that, and thank you for sharing. And the interesting thing, I think, the sort of full circle piece is that your dad was raising money for First Descents well before you were diagnosed with cancer. So I'm sure for your dad, that was kind of like this is like the world's shitty piece of irony that here I am raising money for young adults with cancer, and now I am have a young adult in my household who has cancer.
Yeah, it hit different for sure. And yeah, so my dad was doing that for like a long time, raising money for that, and you kind of just do it because people have gone through cancer in your life, and especially thinking about young adults, it's like and then I just still can't believe sometimes that was a cause that my dad was working towards. And I think last year we got to go on a trip, and we camped in our RV for a week, and like we got to spend that time together, and it was just like really full circle. And my dad, like, I made my dad like a little thing for his bike that said I don't remember what it said, but it reminded him of his cause. Yeah. And I feel like it was just kind of healing for both of us, for him to get on, you get on your bike and you just push those pedals for a cause. And I feel like that was really healing. Sure.
What sort of first inspired your dad to start raising money for First Descents?
Yeah, well, everyone has people in their life that have gone through it. And also my dad didn't complete the first time he did Leadville. So it takes a long time to get in Leadville. So my mom found First Descents, and you raise $3,500 and they get you into the race. So it was kind of like let's raise this money, let's get you in. And like, we just love the cause and the people.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. Maybe 2026, you and your dad and I can get together and we can have a follow-up podcast. And talk about Leadville. Maybe we do it after Leadville when we're all shell-shocked and
combining all that together. I invited all those First Descents, like they're my family now.
Yeah.
And to the Leadville, and hopefully I can like rent out a house and we could all stay together, but like it's just gonna be really full circle.
Yeah. Get on that house rental quick. They go fast up there, and they jack the prices up big time. We've rented a house the last 3-4 years now, and each year it seems like the houses get more and more expensive. So we can talk more about that offline and where to look for houses. So cool. Well, I want to talk a little bit about Grandpa Jim.
Mm,
You've mentioned him already.
yeah.
His name shows up quite often in your blogs and on your Instagram. It's a really touching story in one of your blogs where I can't remember, you're out putting up flyers or something, and with your mom, and y'all see a red cardinal, and there's a connection there. So, and it sounds like he passed away from cancer as well. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Grandpa Jim is my mom's dad, and he passed away in 2011 from glioblastoma. He fought for 4 years, and that obviously impacted our family a lot. And he is like my spirit throughout life, like I've already said. Like, he was the type of person that would have a cigar hanging out his mouth, and he'd be let the cows loose, but he could still perfectly time like any sort of barbecue. And he was just like, he is the type of person that I want to be. And he was part of 4-H, and through that he just gave a lot back to the community, and he was like the man of the city, I guess. I don't know, like, he was just like the most awesome guy ever. And he's like he's so hodgepodge. He never finishes a project. He has stuff laying around everywhere, and that's just me. And yeah, so I use his spirit a lot to move throughout life. But yeah, when I was diagnosed, I was like, wow, like Grandpa Jim is my guardian angel, and I just felt protected under him.
Cool.
So.
Well, I'm sure he's looking down, and he is. I'm 100% sure, super proud of you, and happy to see you alive and kicking, and just continuing to move forward. So, thank you for sharing that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I see your bike there behind you.
Yeah.
Are you finding any time to train for already start training for Leadville, or is that just your get to class bike?
Well, that's my gravel bike. I don't think that's a good bike for Leadville, but yeah, I just go. I'm in Indiana, so like you could go 30 miles or even 100 miles and get no elevation gain. So basically, I just go up and down hills until life sucks, and then I'm like, that's good enough. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you just get out there on. I've never ridden in Indiana, but I'm guessing there's lots of back roads and gravel once you get outside of town. Hopefully, get those miles in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Near Bloomington North, there's hills, but in West Lafayette, it's pretty flat.
Yeah. And have you ever seen the movie Breaking Away?
Mm-mm.
You familiar with it?
No.
All right.
I'm not a movie girl. Like I can't.
Well, this is your homework for the weekend. I want you to find some time and stream and watch Breaking Away.
Breaking Away.
Yeah, it's a film from I think it was filmed in the mid 70s, early 80s. It's about cycling. It's got a very young Dennis Quaid in it. But it takes place at the University of Indiana. I know you're at Purdue, but the story is based around an event that still happens at every year there called the Little 500, and it's an intercollegiate bike race. So I just want you to watch that and then get back to me and tell me what you think of it. But I think it'll inspire you. It's just it's a feel good movie. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, are you, in terms of training for Leadville, or I know you've got your dad to lean on in terms of he's done it multiple times, so he can probably provide you some training advice. Are you using a coach, or are you just what's that look like to get ready for Leadville?
Honestly, I probably need to talk to you. Get some more advice. I'm looking for all the advice I can, but my idea is get all the advice I can and just ride my bike. All you have to do is ride my bike up a hill, right?
Yeah, just that's all you have to do. Well, I would. We could definitely talk. I've been posting in the Leadville 100 mountain bike participant group whenever I put out a new podcast, since a lot of the folks have some sort of Leadville connection. So if folks from that group listen to this podcast, I'm sure you'll get inundated with advice. So
Yes, please.
yeah,
Plug my inbox.
yeah, it was what, and I guess I should stop here and just explain to people who are listening to this that don't know what Leadville is. So Leadville, Colorado, highest incorporated city in the United States, a little over 10,000 feet. And the race is a mountain bike race. There's also a foot race version that happens a couple of weeks after, but it starts in downtown Leadville, drops very, very briefly below 9,000 feet, but most of the race happens above 10,000 feet, climbing as high as 12,700, I believe, 12,300. I can't ever remember, to the high point at Columbine, where you turn around and basically backtrack back to downtown Leadville. The goal is to finish in under 12 hours to earn a belt buckle, but just making it to the start is accomplishment, and then just being out there on the course it's amazing. It's the support that comes out from the community, the folks who are out there supporting other riders is insane. You would think riding through the woods for 100 miles you'd be alone, but you're never alone during that race. It's an incredible event. We'll put a link down in the notes if people are interested in learning a little bit more about it. So yeah. Well, Cam, what else do we want to talk about?
I was gonna say on that Leadville thing, I watched the pros do it, and I am just so like flabbergasted that they are going like top speeds down these mountains, and I feel like that's the part that I'm gonna train as hard as I freaking can, but going down those mountains, like that might be something that I need to worry about myself a little bit for.
Yeah, I think to your point, there's a lot of people, unfortunately, who don't finish because they get caught off guard by the downhills, and as a whole, the race is not very, very technical. Most of the course is like wider, what they would call double track, even dirt roads. There's even some paved roads there. But there are a couple of sections where you're traveling at super high speeds, and it's rocky and loose, dusty, and it's split second for the bike to get away from you, and it can ruin your day. So it's not just about fitness. It's also about having some technical skills and being at least comfortable enough to let go of the brakes a little bit on some of those downhills. So yeah. Have you already got a mountain bike picked out, or do you have a bike you've been riding? I know you have your gravel bike, but
I have a mountain bike, but I'm gonna get a more souped up one. I've been in due, but
okay.
So, I'm thinking about like some sort of specialized. I don't think full suspension is the move, honestly. It kind of just adds more elements, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I've been riding full suspension the last 2 years, Yeti SB 115, and I'm actually thinking about going back to my hardtail. Just it's a lot lighter, and there are a couple of sections that are pretty rough. But I feel like I was faster. My fastest time ever has been on the hardtail. So that's the decision I'll be mulling over for many, many months as I try to, I'll probably go up. I'm fortunate enough to live within driving distance of Leadville, so I'll probably go up and do a couple different rides, one on hardtail, one on full suspension, to help me make that final decision. So yeah. I'm excited to be able to line up with you this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Me too. It just feels like it lined up for the perfect moment. So right after the first Ascends trip, definitely gives me a lot of fire.
Yeah. For sure. And now that you're at Purdue, have you decided what you're going to study or major in, or is this sort of just a year to sort of figure things out and take it from there?
So my major, or what I'm studying, is organizational leadership, which if you don't know, because it's a very niche topic, because I didn't know what it was, it's so it's learning how to lead and move teams, and to get everyone together to achieve their goal, obviously, but facilitating teams and trying to get their mission across, making sure that's very clear. So that's kind of what I do here. And yeah, I love it so far. I'm only like, obviously I just started at Purdue in August, so I'm only a couple months in, but leadership is definitely like, I'm in those classes and that's my happy place. And the professors are just, top tier. I feel inspired by them.
Cool.
At least someone I can look up to.
Yeah. So you are a freshman this year, right?
Yeah.
And did you have to put off going to college because of your treatment and your diagnosis?
Yeah. So I was so when I got out of high school, I wanted to go to Purdue, but if you can't tell about me, I'm very chaotic and I'm young and dumb. And I thought I was just not going to go to college because I was going to be a millionaire. And, I don't know what I was thinking. I ended up working at a grocery store. My dreams of being a millionaire, faded away very quickly. And then I got diagnosed with cancer and I was like, oh, okay. That's the curveball I needed. So then I don't know what my plans were. I don't know what I was doing. I was in community college and I had just I thought community college I didn't want to be like the weak person going to community college, but I actually learned a lot about myself through community college and so many awesome people that were like in the same boat as me. And then right when I started, that is when I got diagnosed. So I'm like, man, I was trying to advocate for myself and figure it out. And now I got freaking cancer.
Yeah.
Drop out of it. Anyways.
Cool. Well, I mean, what you just said right there, and what we've been talking about is really what this podcast, the Human Reboot Project, is about, right? Is that life, as you just called it, sometimes sends you a curveball, and we swing and we miss, we swing and we hit it. It doesn't really matter, right? It's what we do afterwards, as we're waiting for that next pitch. And I just think, when I see some of the things that you've done, right? I mean, it would be very easy for someone your age or any age for that matter to sort of, try to put cancer behind them after finishing their treatments and get on with your life. And you've definitely used it as a source of inspiration to make a difference. And I'm just super excited to see what you do in the future as well. So, 5 years from now, you'll probably be leading some large organization on your way to being a millionaire and continuing to make a difference. So,
yeah, I definitely found my purpose, like going through high school. And I always felt like, I don't know, like I thought differently, weirdly. I was just so weird. Like, I was like, no, why do I think like this? And like when I was 7, I was making like a nonprofit, and you'll see in my stories for kids with autism. And that's awesome. But why at 7 was I intrigued by that? Like, that is so weird. And that's what I liked in high school. And I don't know why that was entertaining, but and then I found my purpose. So
yeah, I've not seen the blog post about your early endeavors into the nonprofit world, but obviously the seeds were planted, and you have chosen to make a difference. And so for myself and everyone else in the cancer community, thank you. Again, super excited to line up with you at Leadville. I'm sure if you follow Cam on Instagram, if you don't, you should, because I'm sure she'll have some information up there about her fundraising endeavors, and as well as her dad's fundraising endeavors for First Ascent. So, Cam, it has been an honor and a pleasure to talk with you today. And I just, you're an amazing individual, and just keep on keeping on. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jay, for having me. Guys, this guy is awesome. I mean, not only is he a badass rock star who does Leadville, but he's a human person. And if you need any advice, honestly, I just email Jay. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Cam. It's quite the endorsement. So have a great weekend. Enjoy watching Breaking Away.
Got it written down.
I can't wait to hear what you say. Cool.
All right. Yep.
Beat up, kicked in the teeth, nowhere but up, not gonna lie down and die. Gotta stand up, reboot, and move on, one step at a time.